After high school, didn't really continue on in the fitness as I wanted to. I just amassed weight, lost all the good habits that I had. I was just progressively getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That likely would have continued on if it wasn't for the catalyst of my old man passing from having 3 heart attacks in 2 days. If I'm gonna go out, it's not gonna be because of something I could have potentially controlled. My name is Rasheed Phillips, pitmaster, and I specialize in open fire cooking using real wood, fresh ingredients. Usually if I do my job right, like I provide more than just a meal, I help create a memory that ties you to that meal.
I've been eating his stuff when he first got his start here at Pontoon, and I've always loved his brisket.
Never had brisket like that before. That is good food.
One thing about Rasheed is that whatever he does, he doesn't just worry about the actual event. He worries about the experience that you have from the actual events. And so I'm not surprised that people were driving from across state lines, because it's about the experience when you have his food, or when you start talking to him, when you meet him. You want to be around that feel-good atmosphere, and that's the experience when you have with Rasheed's pop-ups.
You see the size of his arms? Yeah. What's up?
So what you get with Rasheed is exactly what you see. He's not any different. There's not an on and off.
When I saw Rasheed on TV, I was super thrilled. And the coolest thing about it is that it gave the rest of the world an opportunity to know the guy that I knew. The same person that you see on there is the person that you deal with day to day.
If you've seen the show, you know how much he helped out some of the other competitors. He's that kind of guy. He wants you to do as well as you can. He wants to bring out the best in you.
During the pandemic, he also started making and delivering food to first responders, so to hospitals and things like that. And that was really before he was getting as big as he is now, with the Netflix show and all of that stuff. So even though he was still starting up himself, he was constantly giving back to the community.
Rasheed does this event every year called Pitmaster Santa. It's a charity event where he asks for toy donations from everyone around the Atlanta area, and he will donate all these toys and all the proceeds from his event to the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. And it's just great, man. It's great to see that he's using all of his success now to completely change and completely transform everyone else that comes around him.
We're at my old home. Home I grew up in, the first house we moved into when I was a kid, and we moved to Georgia. This is where a lot of the entrepreneurial hustle started. I would actually mow the lawns in the neighborhood, and then my mom legitimately taught me business practice. I had to pay her $25 to use the lawnmower, and then I had to pay to fill up the gas in the lawnmower, but I could only take lawn jobs after and if only I had already mowed our lawn. And at one point I must have had 90% of the lawns in the neighborhood, and it got so busy that I couldn't do it, so I started hiring my friends to help me do the lawns.
Sure. Yes, sir. All right. All right. Now.
But a lot of memories, a lot of lessons learned, here in the neighborhood. I realized I was the bigger kid, size or horizontal or vertical, whichever way you want to measure it. In the 3rd grade, Mrs. Gardner's class, I played a tree. This is a true story. Somewhere out there in the world, there's a VHS of little Sheed playing a tree in a school play, because that's how much taller I was than everyone in my class. From there, I sort of ran the gamut, graduated, played sports throughout school and such. After high school, I ended up running into one of my closest friends now, Shay, and we became personal trainers.
Came in as the new kid on the block. Even though he didn't know much at that time, he wanted to learn. He was hungry, and he was passionate, and he was just a genuine guy.
Meeting with Shay, we trained together, and he got me in a more slender physique shape, more streamlined. And that was just something I really enjoyed. It's probably one of the best fitness levels I've been in my life. Then life happens, you know, I got into IT, causing me to be sedentary for 12, 14 hours a day. And I just, you know, amassed weight, lost all the good habits that I had. I didn't become physically active as I wanted to. I was just progressively getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that likely would have continued on if it wasn't for the catalyst of my old man passing from having 3 heart attacks in 2 days, on the date of his 1-year anniversary. I don't know why I did it. I really don't, but I picked up these pair of running shoes that I've had in a box for years. I just never wore them. I put them on and I decided to go for a run. And that first run sucked horribly. I mean, I finished that run and I sprawled out on the trail just sucking wind, and I did a mile. I think I did my mile in like 23 minutes. I probably could have walked it faster. And I was just like, who does this? And I was like, I'm never doing this again. That's just stupid. And then I woke up the next day and I did it again. And I kept doing that for about a year. And before I knew it, I was down like 55 pounds and I couldn't believe it. That's really what sparked everything for me, is just to try to maintain it. I never wanted to be like the muscle and fitness dude all straight out. That's not me. I make my food taste too good to be that guy. For me, running is a means to an end, and it's an investment in myself. It's the only time that I realize if I don't put myself first at the start of the day or at some point, that I'll never get to it. So running is what I do. I'm not striving for perfection every day. I'm just striving for progress, trying to be a bit better today than I was the day before it or the year before it. I never thought that I would end up being known for cooking. It's really weird because I'm the oldest sibling and cooking was just something I always did. I never thought it was something that I could make a career out of, mainly because I never saw any black chefs growing up. My fitness journey personally balances and is very in parallel to the journey I take with cooking and preparing food. You've got to be a little crazy to do barbecue. You've got to realize, hey, I'm gonna take 16 hours out of my day to smoke this one piece of meat. Like, there's far faster ways to get things done than to do it the way I do it. A perfect example, during COVID shutdown, I focused on learning how to make tortillas, and I wanted to know how to make them properly. I made hundreds of iterations. And I got to a point where I really enjoyed one end result, but it's very laborious. For me to make my tortilla, I have to make a completely different dish just to get the ingredients for it. So my tortillas are corn, and I make a flour one as well, but I have to make a porchetta. For those who don't know, porchetta is a pork belly, a lot of fresh ingredients, a lot of fresh herbs, tightly balanced, and peppers, and you slow cook it. But I don't even eat that. I make that just so I can collect all the oil and the fats because it's been rendered down in that cooking process. For me to get the quality product that I like at the end, I had to make this one thing to collect this one ingredient to get this item over here. And that's just what fitness and a healthier lifestyle is. Sometimes you're going to have to put in all of this effort and work for what may look like a small result and product to then bring that to something greater that you're proud of. You know, my bio says, you know, once you put your name on something, you have to stand by it. I like to stand by the end result of my product because I know exactly how much work it took me to get there.